Welcome to another self-growth video. Today I would like to speak about habit stacking and how the dopamine strike affects that and works with that. Secondly, I'd like to speak about how to handle challenges and tragedy. But first, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe and help us grow this channel. So let's get right into it. So first of all, we have to know so dopamine is a chemical in our body, right? And it causes, according to studies, it causes desire. So it doesn't cause you to like something. It causes you the power. It's very, very important. It's such an important chemical. It causes, basically, it gives you the will to live or the will to do anything. If you didn't have dopamine, you would basically die because you had no will to live. Now, that doesn't mean you wouldn't have a happy time while you are alive. According to studies that they did this on, let's say, I think mice or rats or whatever. When they don't have dopamine, and you taste sugar or something sweet, you'll like it, but you won't have any desire at all to eat it again. At all, which is very, very, very strange, very interesting. You think automatically, if you have a desire for something, or you like something, then you're going to have a desire for something. But that if you don't have dopamine, you could like something, but you won't have any desire. So it doesn't matter how much you like it. If you don't have dopamine, you won't have the desire for it. So that's very important. And the way to so how does this help us? So the brain, when the brain anticipates a reward and uses dopamine, it uses dopamine to cause you to want it again. Because you get a reward, but you wouldn't want it again if you didn't have dopamine. So when you anticipate a reward, it gives a dopamine strike. And then a lot of times when you get it again, and when you do have the reward, you have dopamine strike. But you have to understand the main focus of the dopamine strike is when you anticipate a reward. So something that's good. You anticipate something that's good. So now, how can we use this in habits? So let's say you want to do exercise, but you don't like exercising, but you know you're becoming unhealthy. You're not losing weight. You're becoming fatter or whatever it is. You're you're becoming less, maybe you could call it athletic, or not able to do as much. Start breathing heavily whenever you walk from just one block or whatever the case is. And you realize you have to do exercise, but the problem is you really don't like doing exercise, and especially now that you're all big and you're out of shape, you all the more so don't want to do exercise. So what are you going to do? How are you going to get How are you going to get that going? So figure out something that you really like. So, I don't know, let's say you like listening to something very much, a certain amount of music. So if you make it has to be every time. You have to start doing, I'm going to listen to this music, but you make it only when I'm running or when I'm doing my exercise, I listen to this. Or, that's one way of doing this. Now, what's going to happen? The dopamine strike is now going to slowly be translated into, I anticipate exercise, because originally I anticipate the reward of listening to music, but then it becomes the environment, which is exercising. That's when I listen to music. So the brain interprets, exercising, that's rewarding because that's when I listen to music, let's say. So therefore the brain is going to translate exercise as something rewarding. And automatically the dopamine strike is going to come when you do exercise. And exercise is going to, not when you do exercise, when you anticipate exercise. And that makes exercise become a good habit. Similarly, another way you could do it is not habit, so what I mentioned until now was habit bundling, not habit stacking. Habit stacking is putting one habit after the other. It was habit bundling. So I apologize for saying habit stacking. This was habit bundling, meaning you do two habits at the same time. You need to eat healthy. For another example, let's say you need to eat healthy, but you're eating junk food. and you enjoy fancy meals, or you enjoy decorated table, or you enjoy like when the meal is all professional and like whatever it is. So okay, but you like junk food. So what are you gonna do? So set up your table in a nice way. Make everything professional. Make it the way you like it. The only difference is change the food. So at the beginning it might be a little bit hard, but you're gonna get now you have to you also have to like be a little bit clever about this. Maybe you only like tables like that because you're used to eating like that in fancy restaurants or whatever. But let's assume that's not the case. And even if it is the case, it will still work. So you like everything all nice and decorated, and you like everything around, not just the food itself, but you like unhealthy food. So start setting up the table like that, and then just put healthy food, and slowly, okay, you don't like healthy food, but slowly the other part, which is enjoyable to you, it will slowly be translated. When I eat healthy food, then I get this enjoyment, and the dopamine strike is gonna, automatically want you to desire to eat more healthy food in this manner, and maybe slowly, hopefully, even not in this manner. But yeah, it could go on any situation. Now, I'll give you the situation that the Atomic Habits mentioned, which was the situation where someone, I forgot his name, that he needed to do exercise, but he didn't like doing exercise. He enjoyed watching Netflix. So what did he do? He knew a little bit of programming. He put a program into his computer that said that basically only when he does exercise, he attached his bike to the television or whatever it is, to the screen, and basically the program, only when he did exercise, it would bring up his the channels they liked viewing and all of that, and when he would stop, then it would stop, and that caused his brain to translate, when I'm doing exercise, I'm getting a reward, and that's I watch Netflix. So it started making. So this is basically making. Now this is all based on the second part. We talked about the cue. Then there was. Remember, there's 4 parts in habit. In habits, there's the cue, there's the craving, there's the response, and there's the reward. So this is on the craving level, which is the second level, which is the dopamine, which causes the craving. So basically, this is all how to make your habits more desirable and make them, because we were speaking early on how the unnatural is more enticing than the natural, and this is a way of hyping it up and making your habits almost like unnaturally desirable. Okay, so now I'd like to speak a little bit about how to deal with tough situations, loss and tragedy and all of that. And this is a little bit different. This I didn't really read too much. I'm just about, but I have a little bit of an opinion about this, and I would say first of all, it goes back to being in the now. Now again, being in the now, so you're not thinking about what happened. I mean, it's very hard to do, and I'm not expecting anyone to do it all the time. But the moments that you're in the now and you're actually experiencing the moment instead of experiencing what am I going to do and all of that, will actually make the pain much less. And we have to understand it can't be just, I'm doing it because I want to run away. This has to be your belief, your ideology. And what I mean is that we really have to, I would see it more as connecting to Hashem and realizing that Hashem is in control, and we have to have bitachon in Hashem. And if something happened to you, it was from Hashem, and He's sending you a message or giving you a test or a challenge, whatever it is, one thing or another. And when you have that, you realize you don't, the tragedy goes away, because you realize that everything that Hashem does is for the best. And you have to understand that we as humans, we think we're merciful. And sometimes we have to try justifying Hashem, especially looking in the Torah and things like that. We have to try saying, but maybe it doesn't, this is not what Hashem meant when He said to do this, or when He said certain things in the Torah, or whatever it is, we sometimes seem to struggle just to find Hashem's word because we think we're the most merciful. We don't realize that Hashem is the most merciful. And we have to understand that when we give our friend a nudge and we're trying to be merciful, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But we don't know how to really be merciful. Hashem, He knows how to be merciful, and He knows how to give someone a real painful nudge, but He knows that that's the only thing to bring him, let's say, back into reality. Let's say, to bring him back into reality, or bring this person, or whatever the tragedy is, back into awareness. And that awareness is actually not thinking about the future all the time, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future. Not thinking about the past and not worrying about the future all the time, but living the moment. When I say living the moment, it's not, and I assume you all know this from now, it doesn't mean partying and all of that. What I mean living the moment is the opposite, just being happy with the situation you're in, living in the exact moment, because that's really what reality is, the exact moment. Of course, there is past and future, and that's very important because Hashem conveys and speaks to us through past and future, because the Jewish people themselves, that's the whole heritage is a past. So we certainly have to have the past and future. And we have, the Jewish people have the past and the future because we have anticipation for the future, and there's a plan for the future, Hashem's plan that we're part of. But we come from the past, and where we started is from the past. But we are in the moment, and that's the main thing that we need to know. We have to understand the past, realize what it means for us, and the future also. But we have to remember that we are in the moment, and Hashem put us in the moment because we are supposed to be in the moment. Not because we're supposed to be in the future, not because we're supposed to be in the past, because we're supposed to be in this moment. And that's a little bit, I know I didn't say everything, but that's a little bit of, I think, a way to manage losses and tragedies. Now, I'm not saying out of experience, especially not very bad tragedies, but I mean, maybe out of small tragedies, I could say, but not big tragedies. So I'm not gonna, downgrade any tragedy or anything like that. I'm just saying my way of understanding how to get out of a situation like this. So again, thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe and give comments if you have anything to say. And again, please help us grow this channel.